So, Chris, congratulations. It's been such a pleasure working with you. I've seen such a huge change in you from when we first met to where you're at now. And I really appreciate you taking this opportunity just to share with some other guys a little bit about your journey, where you were before and where you're at now, and what advice you might give them.
So I think when we first met, which is about a year ago at this point, having a pretty rough go at work. There had been a lot of organizational change, a lot of leadership change. I had a new boss. It wasn't a relationship that came easily. And so I was in a role that my new boss didn't necessarily want in the organization. And it was just a really hard time. It was kind of the first time in my career where I've felt like I wasn't moving forward, that there wasn't opportunity opening up for me. Began to question and doubt myself and doubt my abilities. And this was all happening in the midst of a pandemic and kids at home and remote schooling and lots of stress on the home front as well. And I think I was in a place where I was really beginning to doubt myself and really beginning to doubt my abilities. And on the home front, I think it also just it impacted me greatly and impacted the family greatly. And my wife would see me at the dinner table, my head would be elsewhere. I'd be ruminating on something that happened at the office or on Zoom. I just wasn't present with my kids or with my wife, and I just wasn't happy. I was really unhappy with where I was professionally, and really thought that I'd kind of hit my first major roadblock and obstacle in my professional career. And in some ways I had. I think I had. It was a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where I began to question myself, and by questioning myself, I brought less of myself to the work. And like I said, didn't speak up, didn't share my thoughts, didn't share my views. I was really just trying to hide and survive and not thrive. It was a pretty miserable existence and place to be. But I also was at a point where I said, it's what do I have to lose? It's I know that I want to find greater happiness, contentment, fulfillment, and greater connection with my family and my wife, my kids. So I gave it a whirl, and it's hard to really even quantify how impactful it's been. I just feel like a completely different person. In some ways, the person that I was before this, really challenging couple of years at work, more confident, more willing to advocate for myself, more willing to speak up, more clear with what I want for myself and for my family. As we made the decision to move to a mountain town in Vermont, to give my kids the lifestyle that I always wanted for them, and to achieve the kind of balance in my life and that I've always wanted, to be able to live in a community and an environment that was closely aligned with my values and the things that I care about. And it's been an incredible experience, and one that I never thought I would do. It was something I always wanted to do, but never had the confidence or courage to take the leap. And it's been amazing. Suddenly I went from being a person I questioned whether my boss wanted around the organization, thinking I was on my way out or I needed to find my way out of there, to having my mid-year review and him telling me how much he values me and how he'd be lost without me. And now I have recruiters calling me about other opportunities that are really interesting and exciting, and ones that I might not have had the confidence to go after a year ago, and I'm going after it. And I think it's going to really potentially allow me to integrate everything I want in my personal home life with everything I want in my professional life. And there's no way I would have been in this position if I hadn't taken you up on your offer to work with you and with this group of guys. So thank you.
Chris, that's so brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I feel that gratitude. And that's the way I feel towards you, because I saw how you were struggling before. And now I don't see that version of you anymore. I see you confident. I see you connected to your family even more than you've ever been. And I see you getting recognition at work. I mean, even the president of the organization called you out in front of everybody. So I guess the final question I'd say is, if there's someone who's sitting on the fence, kind of feeling stuck and thinking about booking a call, what advice would you give them?
Do it. Get unstuck. I mean, it's amazing how each little action, each little step you take builds on itself. But the most important step for me was just booking the call, and even beyond that, just after we met, just overcoming any kind of doubt or anxiety or fear I had about the realization of the dreams that you always thought were unattainable. So take the leap. Just do it.